All right, it's a quick little tutorial on how to run through using the wireframe. Um, I have mine open here. If you go open to the mask layers, a lot of times it's going to have the wireframe. Um, so if you come in here, you see where all these line up, and you can tell where they're going to match, like on the deck lid here, on the bed tonneau cover. We'll go here to here, here to here, here to here, here to here. Now I'm going to do it on the CWS 15 one because this is the one that has the most scaling issues. And I'm going to use a really ridiculous pattern just to show it really quick. So I'm going to copy this and I'm going to paste it in here in my base layer. And I'll show you the way that I do things in order to get things lined up. So if I'm going to do it here, I'm going to lay this in and I'm going to colorize it just so I can see the difference. Really quick. I apologize if my dog starts barking. He's kind of going nuts. So I'm going to do this as my color here. So this way, you see how it's going to line up. And if I was going to just put this into, if I open up my car viewer, you can see everything here. And for whatever reason, I can't move. Oh, I hate it. So you can see that the wireframe is going to meet up at all these points. But the problem is the scaling of it. So I'm going to pull this off really quick. And we're going to work this. So what I do to make this as easy as possible is I go the entire length. I get all of these connection points, like all the points that are there. And I'm going to copy merge. So I'm going to go Control Shift C. I'm going to put a base layer above this. I'm going to call it guide. And I'm going to paste it here. Now when I paste it in here, I'm going to turn this stupid mask on. I don't know how people work with the mask on. It drives me nuts. Okay. So I'm going to line up this horizontal line. You see the horizontal line the whole way. And I'm going to line it up on that. So I'm going to put this end to end. I'm going to put it fairly close right here. And you're going to notice that these do not line up perfectly. The scale's off. So what you have to do is this. Go section by section. Control Shift L just to float it. I'm going to drag this connection point on the right side because I'm going to have to use this to go all the way there. And I'm going to go Shift S to scale it. So it's going to be stuck here because I'm scaling. I'm going to drag. And I know that this point here is going to line up. Over here is not, it's going to be kind of negligible because it's that little corner piece in the tonneau cover. But I have it lined up to here. And it'll be fairly close. I might have to rotate a slight amount to get this to be perfect, but should be really, really close. I'm going to move it up one. All right. Then next, I'm going to go down to the next one, grab to that point. And this should get you really close. It may not be exact, but it will be darn close. Okay, and then the last one here. Okay, so now what I would do over the top of this, because you're gonna, I didn't mean to paste that into the base layer, but it's gonna be there for now, that's fine. Make another layer on top, so you go pattern. And what I'm gonna do is freehand select. Because freehand select is your best friend. People hate it, but we are built different, I guess. So then you can follow your pattern here. Now I don't have the pattern going all the way, so it just cut off there, but that's fine. So I'm going to go like this and make it black. So we'll be able to see where it lines up, where it doesn't. I usually do contrasting colors and then fix it later. Usually gets you in the ballpark like 1 or 2 pixels off, and then you can fine tune from there, but it gets you a heck of a lot closer, and it also gives you the, especially for like cup, will give you the angle. So like if you're trying to continue a complex shape across a gap like that, you at least know the angle it's going to follow outside the wireframe, like from the other panel, which is a little bit easier to use. I don't know where I came across this or where I started doing this, but this has been my party trick for a while. Now, I don't usually have a pattern that goes like this wild across a gap. Usually you just need to get like one or two things. So you just space it across that single, that single block, like from here to here. But for right now, we'll just see how this ends up. It could be total trash. I have no idea. And I'm going purposefully too far over the tonneau cover just so you can cut it to fit. I know Cup has a way of not fitting exactly. It's not exactly symmetrical, so you sometimes you leave a little bit extra to trim. But trimming from the inside is a lot easier than going back and editing it across the gap. So let's see. So I'm going to turn the guide layer off. I'm going to turn the wireframe off. And I'm going to export. And we're going to see where these black marks line up with these pink marks. So I'm going to bring this back in. I exported it. Control R to refresh. And like that, we are, if not perfect, we are dang close. Check that out. I mean, it's negligible. If you wanted to perfectly fine tune it, you can go in there with the warp brush, or you can copy paste and move it over like one. Let me show you what I mean. Like this one here, I think is a little bit off right here. So I'm going to do this real quick. Which one is this? Directly between those two. So this guy. So this one here, what I'm going to do is this. Copy paste. Drag it over one. Now if I re-export and bring this back, refresh, that one jumps out one, but it looks a heck of a lot closer. But doing it this way is a hell of a lot easier than sitting there and guess and check, guess and check, guess and check, guess and check over and over and over. And if you're like me and you like being able to flip things super easily, it should be really close. And I'm probably gonna look like an idiot because it may not be, but we'll give it the old college try here. And I'm fairly certain that's wrong, but let's try here. Yeah, that one's off, but you know it's going to be off by about the exact same amount everywhere, so you can just shift this over. So I'm going to grab the pattern, upload it. It's looking like about a quarter of the way or so. And it's a lot closer, and then go and guess and check. 1, 2, 3. Export. Refresh. Maybe one more. And like that, you're pretty darn close once again. So that's how you use the wireframe in order to line things up. Stuff that gets complex, like front end stuff, will work exactly the same way. All of the portions between the wireframe should line up. So like this here, I'm going to go, because it's off center, I'm going to go copy Control Shift C, so it copies everything layered, and turn the guide layer back on. And I'm going to come up here, because we said it was 1, 2, 3, and rotate it in. And something like this, you know that's going to have that split. And if you wanted it to rise across this, you would just have to grab this section. And a lot of times you'll work from one side to the other. Like this one I know is going to cut off here, and I know I need to rotate it from here. So rotate that down. I grab this, and I go rotate from the corner because that's where it's on the line. And I need to stretch it to get to here. Now, if you were to just do this to copy paste and do this stuff and stretch it without doing a freehand selection afterwards, you're going to end up having like distortion and blurring and all that stuff. So use this as your guide and then do your freehand select over the top again, right? But I didn't have a pattern there, so I can't really transfer anything. But it's exactly the same format or same procedure in order to do it with the front and back end stuff. But it works on really any mod. Some wireframes are better than others, but for the most part, you can get this done fairly easily. All right. Happy painting.